let's get into it. I just wanted to say what's up to everyone, that if you are brand new to being exposed by me, maybe someone shared this video with you or they told you to come here and they said, you need to check out this dude. He's got something to say and he knows what he's talking about. My name is CesarLRodriguez, and the purpose of this training is to teach you exactly what you need to do if you want to position yourself perfectly to be able to bring on board and recruit 10 people onto your team in 10 days or less. All right, so I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to be doing and what you need to do if you want to do this. Okay, so a little bit about my background, and I think this will just tie right into the training here. Is for some of you, I realize that is a bold claim, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story so you can actually understand why I can relate to you. If you're a little skeptical and you're thinking to yourself, man, Cesar, 10 recruits in 10 days, come on, man. Like, you don't understand me, Cesar. You don't understand my situation. Because I've only had this much success. I haven't signed up 10 people total in my life, maybe. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're a top earner and you're just looking to get the edge. I don't know. But what I do know is there was a time in my life where if I heard what I just told you guys, my confidence and belief in myself was so low that I wouldn't have even been able to believe you. I would have said, get out of here, no way. And I might not even have watched as much as you're watching right now. Because coming from, a poor background in, like lower middle class, I lived in an apartment for the first 16 years of my life with 5 of us living in a 2-bedroom apartment, in central New Jersey. A lot of the mentality and the talking around me was, poverty preaching and talking, right? I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I didn't see people who were rich. I didn't see people, I remember one of my first friends, it was like middle school before I even saw this kid, and he had a house. I was like, oh, whoa, like, you got a house, you must be rich, right? Because everyone I knew did not have houses, right? So this is my upbringing. So with that, you've got a certain level of confidence, and things that have been told to you about what you can and can't do. And one of the most important things that you need to understand is if you want to be successful in life, you have to have belief. And I understand if you don't have it right now as much as you need to be able to receive this message. But I would just encourage you to open up your eyes and consider some new ideas. Open up your ears and consider some new ideas. Because when I first got started in network marketing, and this training is primarily for people who are network marketing, or if you're in any type of financial services or any type of business where you can recruit people onto your team and be able to make overrides and to be able to profit maybe from their activity, and you're trying to build a business in that sense. When I first got started in network marketing, I was a 21-year-old broke college kid, and I was working at a mall, and a guy came into the mall, and he prospected me to work with my first company. I saw this thing, I thought I was gonna be amazing because I saw people making all of this money, people making $30,000 a month, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is what I wanted to make a year, like, this is amazing, this is what I wanna do with my life. So it was kind of like, forget my college degree that I just spent, 40 years getting, I'm gonna do this with my career. Because I saw the life that these people were living, the freedom, like, just, it was, these lifestyles of these network marketing top earners were just amazing to me. And I'd never seen anything like that in the world where you could make that kind of money and also have time freedom. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, I need to be a part of this and I need to do this. So I thought I was going to be awesome. Call my mom up. She basically tells me I'm an idiot, because I'm throwing away my college degree essentially. And from her perspective, she didn't see what I saw. She's just trying to protect her son. She's like, what? You spent all this time trying to get this degree. Now you don't even want to use it? Like, what are you thinking? Like, why? Because you saw a bunch of strangers in a room talking about how much money they were making, so you want to change your entire career? So, like, no hater, statements at my mom. She just didn't know what she didn't know. But I knew what I saw and I believed in it. However, after about 4.5 months, 5 months, 6 months, I was starting to think that she was right. Because I'm talking to you today about recruiting 10 people in 10 days. I had gotten hundreds of no's. The first 100 were in a row. All my friends, family, they told me I was an idiot. I was never going to make it. You're crazy. What are you thinking? You're not going to use your degree. This thing is like commission only. It looks like a pyramid. Like, I heard all this stuff. And the first 100 people told me no. Then I went through hundreds of more no's before I even got 5 yeses. So if you're thinking that you're in a position where you're going, Cesar, you don't understand how bad I am. I don't know you. But that's how bad I was. Right? But I made a few bold decisions on my path, and one of them was saying, hey, you know what? I'm not going to quit on this business. I was at a fork in the road and I could have quit, or I could have kept going, and I chose to take the bolder path and kept going. And I literally uprooted my life, moved to Wilmington, North Carolina to study near a mentor, a guy that was, a couple levels above me. And he kind of took me under his wing because I really wanted to learn how to do prospecting, because I was striking out with everyone I knew. I didn't know how to talk to strangers. I was terrible at it. And I was like, look, if I go all in with this business, if I pick up and I move to the city where you have a beach house in, because he had a house in Raleigh and a beach house in Wilmington, North Carolina. I said, if I go there and just like follow you around, like, will you just let me follow you around and watch you talk to people? That's how hungry I was. I was like, if I break my lease, pick up, put everything in a U-Haul truck and move to this random city where I don't know a single person other than you on the weekends, would you allow me to do that? And he was like, kid, if you're crazy enough to do that, yes, you can come. So I literally picked up, moved, got around him, and literally watched him in the streets talking to people as I went through hundreds of books, listened to thousands of hours of personal development, and went to countless seminars, and got and found ways to be mentored by the sharpest people in the world, including him. And for years, I didn't listen to the radio. It was nothing but personal development. I didn't watch TV. I couldn't tell you what the hit stuff was going on. People were talking about, Harry Potter and all these think about all these shows that were going on, all like these blockbuster series, right? I was just like, I'm going to get rich and then I'll watch all that stuff, one day in my home movie theater. That was my mentality. I was like, I'm not going to listen to music. I don't care. I'm just going to go all in on personal development. Now, in my story is some training for yourself if you haven't already picked up on it. Now, this was the hardcore extreme stuff that I did to be able to sharpen my axe and to get the skills that I eventually ended up developing. I also went to working with a company that was the #1 company in the entire world of timeshare, and I happened to work at the #1 site at that time in that company. So it was literally the #1 company and the #1 timeshare sales company in the world. And the reason why was the leadership. The people that were running that site were unbelievable. They were legends like John Waller, Jeff Michael, Craig Musamichi. There's so many people there that during that time period, they were like legends. Al Jones, just so many people that I got around, right? And I listened to how these people were able to and I learned from them on how to get anyone to say yes immediately, to make decisions that were $50,000 transactions right away without thinking about it. Total prospects that would come in and they would visit and they would say, hey, whatever you say, I'm not buying anything. So don't even think about it, Buster. That would be how I would start most of my presentations. That would be, oh, and by the way, my name is whatever. Sorry, you got me. What's your name, Cesar? Sorry, you got me. I'm definitely not buying anything. And I can't even tell you how many hundreds of those people I turned around and that day got them hugging me because they were so excited about their new purchase. And I learned things from the books, the mentors, studying psychology obsessively. And that allowed me to go from being a 21-year-old broke college kid to making my first million by 29. Those bold moves I made on that process, all of the things that I learned and I studied obsessively. Like every couple of months, it was like I was getting a PhD in personal development, studying everything from psychology, persuasion, influence, anything to do with communication, anything to do with sales. And because of all these things, today, I am a very successful entrepreneur. I run multiple businesses. I have a super dope movement and a clothing line, as you guys can see. I've been a top earner in multiple network marketing companies. And I went from being a kid who couldn't get 5 yeses in several months to, in the last company that I was building aggressively, well, not even aggressively, part-time, to be honest, I was the #1 recruiter, overall recruiter, out of hundreds of thousands of people. I put in 100 people in 116 days. This time that I just decided I'm going to do a run. And I was still part-time running all of my other businesses and doing all of the other things that I do. The thing is, and the biggest secret, one of the biggest secrets, I should say, is that people think that they have to do more and work harder. And if you want to get good at recruiting people quickly and effectively, it's not just a numbers game. Some of the things that you've heard in your life, like, oh, it's success in sales, it's just a numbers game. Yes, to a degree. Like Jim Rohn, one of my mentors, once said, you can make up in numbers what you lack in skill. This was the mantra that I made. I said, okay, well, I'm not good, so I'm going to just talk to lots and lots of people. So guess what? I got a lot of no's, and then a few itty bitty yeses in between. But I was succeeding in paying the bills because I was just playing the numbers. But I realized that you can work harder, you can work smart. You don't want to be in the zone of just trying to make up in numbers what you lack in skill. You want to improve your skill so drastically that you don't have to have a lot of numbers to get a lot of yeses. See, my closing percentage when I talk to people is 80 to 90%. If I go to talk and prospect to someone, I'm not even worried that they're not going to give me their number. It's like not even a concern. For me, it's a game. It's like, I wonder, I have to play additional games because pulling numbers and prospecting people and getting them excited about joining my team and my business, it's too easy that I've had to add additional hurdles just to make it entertaining for me. So for example, I'll say, I'm going to see if I can pull this person's number in, let me see if I could do this in under 60 seconds. Hey, you know what? I'm going to get them to absolutely love me. What could I do here? Just for fun. I don't want to just get their number. That's easy. I don't want to just get an appointment. I want to see if I can get that person to go, oh my God, you're my favorite new person. You know, I want them to say that I'm the most hilarious person that they've ever met, you know, or I'm up there. So I'll create little games within the process just to make it more entertaining for myself. I'll go up to groups of people and I'll just say, I'm just going to jump in there, interrupt this group, break the ice, and be the freaking leader of it. And I'll say, watch this, 4-minute countdown, watch what happens. Because of all of the things that I've studied and shared. Now, the reason that I share that with you is because in this journey for you to recruit 10 reps in 10 days, what you need to understand is there's a couple of things that you need. Number one, you need new ideas. Like Einstein said, you can't solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that you were when you created it. See, if you've never recruited 10 reps in 10 days, or you've never done anything close to that, then how do you expect to just say, you know what, Cesar, I'm going to go on a run for 10 days or 90 days, and I'm going to recruit all these people? Well, if you've never done it before, then you don't actually know how to do it. And if you did know how to do it, you would have done it. And if you haven't done it, I challenge you to say it's not that you can't. It's not a thing of like, well, I wasn't motivated to. It was just like, no, you haven't done it and you're not motivated to do it because you don't know if you can. Or if you tried, it would just be really exhausting. So we say this all the time to our prospects, don't we? Don't we say all the time things like, well, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting change. You can't just sit there with your life and then expect for things to change, Mr. Prospect. If you're struggling to make money now, well, then you can't keep doing the same thing. You need to investigate doing it something different, right? Don't we say all these things to our prospects? Definition of insanity, hey, for things to change, you have to change, right? This is a great Jim Rohn line, right? So we do all these things and we're great at preaching them, but when it's our turn, that's when all of a sudden your integrity becomes in question, because it's like, are you that person if things aren't going the way that you want them to go? Do you keep doing the same thing? Are you just going to continue to work harder? It's like if you're trying to chop down a tree, a lot of people are trying to chop down a tree with a butter knife. And they're just and look, eventually you can chop down a tree with a butter knife. I mean, if you go at it every day, and that's most of you guys trying to become top earners in your company, you got a butter knife and you're over there going, whack, whew, man, that stings. And then guess what you do again? You go back the next day and you go, whack, The next day you get a little more ambitious and you're like, I want to make 20 phone calls. So you go, whack, 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 whack. And then you're going, I'm seeing a little dent in it. I'm starting to see a little scratch. If I keep up at this for the next, what'd they say, about 4 years, 10 years? Then yeah, I bet you this tree is going to collapse, and, the money tree is going to collapse, and I'm going to, be $100,000 earner or $1 million earner. But what if someone tapped you on the shoulder and he said, hey man, is your goal to chop down this tree? Is that what you're trying to do? Is that why you're coming out here every day looking ridiculous, is chopping at this thing? And they're going to be like, Yeah, I'm obviously trying to chop it down. And what if that person tapped you on the shoulder and said, hey, I want to introduce you to something. It's called a chainsaw. Why don't you take this thing to that tree? Let's see how fast you can knock it down with this thing. Well, the first time you pull on that ripcord and you smell that gasoline smell and you hear that thing whirling and you're going, oh my God. And the minute you touch it to that tree, you're going to see more progress in a shorter amount of time than you've been having in the months and years that you've been knocking at that tree with a freaking butter knife. So what you need, my friend, is a chainsaw. You need something different. You need a new tool, a new strategy, new methodology. And I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to give you the opportunity to have the freaking chainsaw to take at your business. And you can see that you'll accomplish more in 10 days than you could maybe in a couple months or a year or who knows, maybe in your entire life. Maybe you'll be like me and you'll have your first breakthrough where you go from struggling over and over again to finally recruiting 10 people quickly. And you'll go, oh my God, if I can do 10 like that, well, I can do another 10 more. Because once you've done it once, you can do it repeatedly. One of the other big fallacies is people say things like, well, you know, it's not that I don't know what to do. It's just I don't have the motivation to do it. And if you're feeling like you have a motivation problem and you just haven't been feeling very motivated in your business recently, here's what I would challenge you to think. Is it really motivation? Is it really that you're just not doing it because you're so busy and you have all these other things? Or is it just, be honest with yourself, is it just that you're just feeling like things are getting stale? You know, is it just like it's not very motivating when you're going out there and you're getting the crap kicked out of you every time you're picking up the phone and you're having your prospects push you around and cancel appointments on you and stand you up and not take your phone calls? That's exhausting. You can't tell me that I don't know about that. I've personally prospected and pulled over 20,000 numbers from cold market prospects. So I know about putting in work. I know about getting stood up. But as I got better, it happened less. And there are things on this journey that I learned that I only normally share with my high-end coaching students, the people that pay me $1,000 an hour or $15,000 to come to my house to attend one of the retreats that I do at my house, where I work with them and craft their pitch and teach them this reverse recruiting method that I created and how to get your prospects to sell themselves to you instead of the other way around. There are things that I've learned in this process that allowed me to eliminate those things from my life and be able to move a lot faster. And that's where you want to get to. Now, you need ideas. You think you need motivation, but really, the better you get, the more motivated you're going to be. Because how excited are you to do the things that you're good at? I mean, it's hard to be motivated and to drag yourself up out of bed to go out there if you know you're going to get, the crap kicked out of you every time you're, prospecting people and talking to people, right? It's pretty exhausting. Not fun. So it's not motivating. But if I told you, hey, make a list of 100 people right now on a list. If I told everyone to do this, watch this. Tell me if you have a motivation problem. And I told you, and tell me how busy you'd be for this. Everything you have on your schedule, all the stuff that you're so busy doing. If I told you, make this list of 100 people, and then I said, for the next 24 hours, every single person that you talk to, every single person is going to say yes, and they're going to join your team. Now, let me ask you a question. How much motivation do you have now? Are you going to be, oh, well, I got 3 kids and the daycare and the this and the job and the part-time thing over here and the sick relative over here are you going to make those 100 phone calls in 24 hours if everyone's saying yes? If that was it, everyone's going to say yes for 24 hours. How many phone calls would you make? 100. You'd call every single person on that list, wouldn't you? See, it's not that you lack motivation. It's just you don't like the feeling of rejection, and that slows you down. So what I want to do is I want to help to purge you and help you to eliminate the fear of rejection, caring about what other people think. Because honestly, it's a weight on your shoulders and a curse that you have no idea. You guys, it's like you're trying to run a marathon with like fear on your back, right? guess what? If you knock that off, you can finish the race. You can walk there eventually. But man, with fear on your back, indecision, doubt, these are the enemies of success. That's what B10XB is all about. Being 10 times bolder and transforming you into a 10 times bolder version of yourself so you could eliminate fear, indecision, and doubt from your life. So, all of these things are important to have if you're trying to recruit 10 people in 10 days. One of the other things that you need, if you're going to do this yourself, I would highly recommend having other people on that same journey with you who are also running with you, like a blitz. Now, there's a real popular thing, you've all probably heard of it, going on a 90-day blitz. 90-day blitz. We're going to work hard, we're going to give up sleep, we're going to go hard for 90 days. Here's the reality. Jim Rohn said it in one of his amazing audios, and he said, I'm good for about a 30-day run. And he tells this entire story about how, he's like, I don't need much sleep. And he's like, 4 hours of sleep, an hour of nutrition. And he describes this hard run that he does, that he can do for 30 days, right? And this is like one of the GOATs, right? The greatest of all time, Jim Rohn, talking about like as good as he is with persuasion and all. He's like, I could do about a good 30 days. But we are talking 90-day runs, all this type of stuff. But here's the thing. Yeah, you got to go on a 30-day run and a 90-day run if you're not that good and it takes you that long to talk to all those people, because you're going to be going a lot slower, because guess what? You're going to be getting some yes, you're going to be getting some black eyes from a whole bunch of no's, because you're doing the same thing that you've been doing, and you're going to keep getting the same thing that you've been getting. Just more of it. And at the end of the day, at the end of 90 days, take your 90-day run and put it up next to someone that I train for 10 days, and in 10 days, they'll outproduce a person that's running for 90. Because I know things, and it's no disrespect to any other leaders. It's just everyone knows different things, right? Everyone has their own unique spin. That's why you probably follow more than one person. Everyone has a different energy. Everyone has a different vibe. Everyone has a different strategies and scripts and things that they do. The difference with me is I'm the originator of a lot of the things that people are out there retelling. A lot of the lines that I've created on overcoming objections and closing, a lot of the stuff that you've heard is actually came from my original brain, and I've put it out there on YouTube videos, and I whispered it to people, and I've shared that stuff, and then I see it being trained on their websites and their blogs and coming out of their quotes. Some of the leaders, and I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of people, and look, we all do this. I share other things that I get from Eric Worre, Jim Rohn, Ray Higdon, John Melton, like any of my friends or mentors that I learned stuff from. I give them adequate credit, right? There are a lot of great people out there, but there's nobody that can train and teach the things that I know. And that's why people pay me $1,000 an hour and come to my house to learn these different methods. Now imagine if for 10 days I said, we're going to go on a run. I'm going to work with you, train you, mentor you, and we're going to go on a blitz, but instead of you doing all the stuff you've been doing, because you're just going to keep getting more of what you've been getting, I'm going to sow into you and give you the scripts and the training and the methods and the accountability you need. I'm going to be your coach. I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to create together a structure over the next 10 days where I'm going to put you on a mission, and every day you're going to have missions. I'm going to go on and I'm going to talk to you live. Think about this. What do you think you would accomplish if I took you and an army of other like-minded people and I said, guess what? I'm adopting all of you. You're all on my team, and you're going to learn things that most people, you're going to learn some things that the only people who have ever learned them have had to pay me tens of thousands of dollars to learn. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I share there. I'm going to help give you scripts and teach you ways to handle objections. I'm going to work with you and give you a strategic plan based on your current skill set, where I'm going to work with you and I'm going to say, this is how many people I want you to call. Here are the things that I want you to say. Here are the different categories of people that there are. I want you to say to this to this type of person. I want you to say this to this type of person. If you've already talked to them before, and you've talked to them a dozen times and they've told you no, that's okay. You don't scratch them off the list. There's just a different approach from that. There's a different approach for that person. And you're going to laugh your ass off and you're going to absolutely love it when you hear it. Now, all of a sudden, I've rejuvenated all of your existing people. What if there was a way to do this without having to sell, without having to sound salesy and pushy? Well, that happens to be my expertise. And if I was to have that opportunity, let me ask you a question. All it ever takes sometimes is one line to give you a breakthrough that's worth thousands of dollars. I mean, there are lines and methods and things of ways of handling objections that you've never even heard before. There are lines that will get people to want to throw their number at you and to say, yes, I want to do business with you. I want to hear from you. There are things that you can do and seeds that you can plant so that they pick up the phone when you actually prospect them and they take your phone call instead of ignoring you. There are things that you can do to make sure that they show up to their appointment instead of stand you up. There are ways that you can get your prospects to call you back before you even call them. So the follow-up is off of your plate. Any one of these things, if you knew how to do them, would have an astronomical, exponential effect on your business and your life. Your business would be easier. It would be more fun because you'd be getting more yeses and less nos, and you could talk to less people and get the same results that someone else might be and getting 3, 4, 5, 10 times the amount of people. I remember this one cruise that I won back in the day. It was for a recruiting contest, and it was a recruiting and sales contest. There was something like, I think it was over like a 60-day period, and it was really interesting because, when I won this cruise and I was on this cruise, I was probably double what the number 2 person was in personal recruits. So it was probably double the amount of people that they had recruited. So it was like I maybe recruited like 50 and they maybe got like 25 or something like that, or 20. It was something that was just, it was crazy. People were coming up to me on this thing to like, what, like, who are you? What did you do? Like, how did you recruit so many people? And I remember this one person like looked at me and they were like, dude, man, yo, respect. Like, whew, you must have worked. You must really deserve this cruise, man. You must have worked your butt off, because I know I did, and I only recruited like 20 people, and you got like more than double me. And I mean, like, how many I talked to, like, and they said how many people they talked to. It was like some big number. It was something like 200 people or whatever. You get like 20. And I don't remember the exact number, but it was something in the hundreds. And then they were like, so I know I talked to this many people, and you must have talked to like how many people. And I remember thinking, I was like, all right, so if I recruited like 50 people, I knew my numbers back then, but this is like years ago. And they were like, how many people did you talk to? And I was like, I think probably like 60. And I was like, I just like called someone like every other day, sometimes 2 a day, skip a day. And they were like, wait, well, what? How did, and then it was at that point I saw them deflated and kind of like going back like, oh man. And I remember I said to the person that I was with, I was like, yo, legit, like, we can't tell people how many people we've talked to get these numbers. Like, I can't be doing this. It's discouraging to people. And I forgot for a moment what it used to be like to be that person. Because I remember watching people on stage my entire career before I had made it, and literally getting sick of the testimonials. People going up there talking about how much money they're making, how many people they're recruiting. And I remember being in the audience going, yeah, if I was older, I would probably have a shot. If I had like some money or some better contacts, oh yeah, that person probably born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They don't have a bunch of broken, skeptical friends like I do. And it occurred to me that what I know needs to be shared, because I don't want people to continue giving up on their dreams because they're not getting the results that they are capable of having, but they just don't know how to get them. So I have been on a journey for years of trying to find the most creative ways to do this. That's why if you look at some of the courses that I sell, like the Immediate Yes Formula, it's like one-on-one mentoring from me, like through the camera, teaching you how to craft a presentation that gets people to say yes immediately without objections. the prospecting mastery course that I have. It's literally hidden camera footage of me prospecting people in the streets and giving a play-by-play breakdown of what I do. I'm constantly trying to think of unique ways to be able to help and change more lives. Because one of the days that I'll never forget in my life is when I was by my bedside, struggling and broke. And I literally prayed to God and I said, God, if you just let me be successful, I swear I will spend the rest of my life teaching other people how to do the same. And after making that promise, I became successful. And I've spent the latter part of my life delivering on that promise and trying to find new and creative and innovative ways to do that so that I could touch more people and I could help more people to be able to do what I've done. But it's difficult because to teach what I know requires a compressed amount of time, or it requires a lot of engagement, right? I can't just give you like a list of scripts and be like, go read these and go. Like, I need to work on your mind. There's like an entire process of psychology that needs to take place. And I need to put you out in the field and then reel you back in and say, hey, how'd it go? What'd you say? What'd you do? Okay, what kind of objections are you getting? What kind of objections are you getting? Okay, cool, we're gonna overcome this one with this. We're gonna overcome this one. Okay, let's go back at it. That's what it takes. And I've never had the opportunity to do that outside of the retreats that I do at my house, which, like I mentioned, these are 4-day retreats at my house. They're $15,000+. Like, I work with you, create an entire custom pitch. It's totally gangster. Like, there are people that are watching this that are on there. If you guys, my retreat students, are on here, big shout out to you guys. And they walk out of here, the testimonials, I'll show you where you can even see them, you know, what these people are saying. But I've recently come up with something new, something innovative. I don't know if I'm going to do this again, but I looked at my schedule for next month and I have a 10-day window open where I'm not traveling and I am willing to not do anything cool at night because I'm going to be doing daily trainings at night, literally adopting you onto my team in your business. You're going to be in your business, but I've created this new program where it is going to be a 10-day challenge where the goal and the mission is to help you to recruit 10 people in 10 days with me working with you and your team and anyone you invite to join this challenge. Now, the craziest thing about this is when you hear what I'm going to give you and do for you, and you see how I'm practically giving it away, you're going to have a little bit of skepticism. But I'm going to address that here in a moment. Because what this challenge is for 10 days, and I'm going to show you where you can go to learn more about this if you're serious. Now, if you're not, that's totally cool. Now, you may be thinking, Cesar, this is sounding like it's going to be amazing. It is. It is. Just watch. The best is yet to come. But if you're thinking to yourself, but Cesar, this is going to be a bad time. Well, let me just tell you. I'm going to pull this aside, and you can follow along with me because I want to share this with you. Now, this right here, if you go to this page, I want to explain what you're going to get in this Recruit 10 and 10 challenge. Now, this is the first time I've ever done this before. I don't know if I'm going to do it again, not because I'm not going to love it. I'm sure I'm going to love it. It's going to be a blast because this is my favorite thing to do in the world, to be able to work with people and to really go in there and slay objections and teach the things that I know. The problem is, and I'm going to tell you what my motivation for doing this when you see this price, like I said, your jaw's going to drop. But my motivation is to gather a ton of success stories and testimonials so that when I do decide to ever do this again, if I do, and the thing is, it's not that it's not going to be a blast for me, it's going to be fun, but I just don't have a lot of time in my life where I have 10 days I can plan to set aside and always know I'm going to be in my house, I'm going to be settled, I'm going to be, not traveling. It's a big sacrifice for me to do because I'm speaking at, big companies, network marketing company events, and I'm traveling around the world for all kinds of stuff, traveling to different seminars all the time. I've got a busy life. I've got a clothing line, a brand, I've so many different things. Podcast that's launching, be on the lookout for that. It's going to be so lit. Oh my God. But there's so many things that I have that there's this rare window that I have right now. So I wanted to do something extreme where I blow you guys away and have a chance to have my name referenced in your stage talk when you're getting your award for making six figures or blowing some recruiting record out of the water. This is my chance to have a small part of your success story where you go up on stage and you go, I want to thank this person, this person, this person, and Cesar Rodriguez. And I'm not even in your company, but I changed your life. If you go to recruit 10 in 10, spelled out, and I know this may not be that easy to read, but if you go to recruit10in10.com/join, you can see some of the testimonials of the people that I personally worked with, some of my retreat students, and some of the coaching clients of people that I've got a testimonial there from someone who's paid me $1,000 an hour and says how, and this is what all my clients say, but I happen to get this one on a screenshot. I need to be better about doing this because he left a review. And he talks about how he got $10,000 worth of value from one call, because that's what I do. After all my calls, I go, hey, how much would this, was this worth it? Was this $1,000 an hour that you paid me for a phone call, was it worth it? And he said 10 times over. All the retreat students that come to my house after the first day, I ask them, I say, hey, how are you liking everything so far? And you'll see videos of them on camera talking about how they got more than $15,000 of value in day one. The first class, they admitted, except for one person, TIC, that they got their money's worth the first night. And the first night wasn't even any training. We were just sitting around the dining room table. So if people are getting $15,000 of value from me in one day and $10,000 of value from me in 1 hour, what do you think could be possible for you if you had 10 days of me? The ability to ask me questions, 10 days of coaching and mentoring, daily missions, where I'm going to tell you, hey, here's what we're going to do, and then I'm going to arm you with the tools and the scripts and the things to say to accomplish them. Pre-training. So before the challenge even starts, it's going to start next month, depending on when you're seeing this. There may be a couple days ahead of you. You want to join this as fast as possible so you can get through the pre-training and have time to promote this and bring your team on board. Because I'm going to do this, and I'm going to train your entire team. You bring them to me, I'm going to train them. Training that only my high-end coaching students get. Daily accountability and workout partners in a mastermind, a Facebook community and messaging chat. And the scripts and reverse recruiting methods that you've never heard before. There are things that you're going to learn in here, and I'm just going to tell you, the very first script that you learn and the very first approach that you get from me on day one, I'm going to grab screenshots of how many people go, that script was worth the entire money. Just that one technique, that one thing was worth the entire cost of the Recruit 10 in 10 challenge. I'm going to do this entire challenge for only $97. This is the part where I drop the mic. I caught it though, because I got skills like that. $97. Let me tell you what you can get from me outside of this program for $97. Other courses that I sell. Other things that I sell. 10-minute phone call. That's $100, so I actually can't technically get that. But close, that's close. We're getting close. This entire thing, $97. Oh, wait a second. I thought of another way that you can get some information from me. Another course that you can get from me that's $97. Oh, it's not a course. It's a t-shirt, a hat, 2 t-shirts, a hat, and a B10XP wristband. Is that? Yeah, I think that, no. That might be over $100. I'll have to do my math on that. This is what I'm doing. For the first time ever. And here's my motivation. Number one, I want to have a chance to earn a spot in your mind as your favorite trainer. I don't have to be number one, maybe top 5. I want the word on the street to be, yo, who are your favorites? And you drop the name Cesar Rodriguez. If he's not on your list, you need to do your homework, son. I'm going for GOAT status. One of the GOATs, greatest of all time. And I'm going to give you a chance to rate me and to see for yourself. recruit10and10.com/join. I can see Martha over here saying you're in. Deanna, what's up? If you guys are already in, now some of you guys already know me. So you guys were in the minute I said go to this website because you guys know my reputation. If you don't, go on to the page either way. Just read some of the testimonials and listen to some of the things that my students who've worked with me and gotten one-on-one time, right? Now, here's the thing. There's another motivation that I have that I'm going to be honest about why I'm doing this. This is a program and why it's priced this way. This is a program, again, recruit10and10, the numbers.com/join. One of the reasons that I'm doing this is because, and there's a lot of things that I've done one time, two times, and I've been like, that's it, I'm done. I got out of my system. It was a fun time, but I'm over it. But one of the reasons that I like this and why I decided to price this so low, because I didn't want it to compete with anything else that you have, number one. I wanted you to feel comfortable promoting this to your team. I'm not thinking it's going to, because there's a lot of people that have like lack mentality and they're like, oh, well, I don't want someone on my team to spend money with this other trainer because then maybe they won't have enough money to buy a ticket to go to my convention. Let me tell you something. No one has ever bought anything from me and not gone to a convention. In fact, if you want your people to go to your events, you should probably have them buy everything that I sell, because then they'll be beasts and then they'll be making money and they'll never have a money objection about not being able to afford a flight or a ticket, and you'll get rid of all that stuff forever. Thank you, by the way, for typing recruit10and10.com/join. Thank you for typing that in there, Chandra. But one of the motivations for me doing this is that this is something that I can envision myself one day selling, not for $97, but for $2,997. Because once you get these skills, you get to use them forever. Once you do this once and you learn everything that I teach, guess how many people you can recruit when the training's over and your run is done. You can take a break and you can go, all right, time to put it on again. I know what to do. I know what to say. Let me go put in 10 more. How did I recruit 100 people in 116 days? Simple. I knew how to recruit 10. And then I just did it 10 times. And I didn't have to work as hard as everyone else who probably recruited 10 people in the same time period. They talked to more people and got more no's and more rejection. So one day when I'm bringing this course back and I decide to do it for $2,997, it's going to be because you guys, everyone who joins here today, has helped me to do that. So I'm going to drop the price significantly to the ground so that everyone can step up to it and find $97, even if you don't have it now. Anyone's capable if you want it bad enough. If you're not willing to find $97 and you want to do this, it's another thing if you don't want to do this, but if you want to do this and you can't find that time to do this before this challenge starts, then you're going to find success is going to be very tough for you, because you have to be gritty and creative if you want to be successful. But if you don't want it bad enough, you're not hungry enough and resourceful enough to do something that you want to do, like getting that first $97 that could be the thing that changes your life. A lot of you guys have got the fuel. You've got the logs, you've got the fuel, you know, you're getting sown great stuff from your company and your leaders, but you're just missing that spark. You're just missing that thing. And I'm going to freaking give you a flamethrower. And I'm going to hand you a chainsaw, and I'm going to say for 10 days, here's how we get this thing down. Here's how you set your business ablaze. So one day when I'm marketing this course, I'm going to have your permission, because this is part of our little agreement here. I will allow you to join, but you have to allow me to share your success story and your testimonials throughout this process. I'm going to ask you, how much has this been worth to you? How much value are you getting? And I want to see what you really think. I'm not worried about having you put a fake number. I want you to just tell the truth. But I just want you to know that I'm going to screenshot that. And when people after day one are going, this was worth $10,000, the very first training, then all of a sudden, when I go to sell something for the same exact thing later, maybe it's not delivered live, maybe it's recordings or something like that, I can go ahead and bottle that up and I could sell it, maybe these same replays of these videos, for $3,000 and say, hey, this person said it was worth $10,000 after the first night. This person said it was worth $100,000. This person said it's a thing that changed their life. This person's never recruited anyone in their life. They recruited 10 people in 10 days. This person over here was doing pretty good. They were a top earner. They were making 6 figures, but they said the stuff they learned in here is going to help them make $1 million. So that's why I'm doing this. And you have the opportunity to take advantage. Now, what I will say in closing is that opportunities don't go away. They just pass on to someone else. This is not a thing that I'm going to do a hard sell and try and convince you that you need to do. Because if you don't see it, you don't have enough belief in yourself to think that it's possible for you. And here's the thing, even if you don't, even if you're like, I don't believe that I can recruit 10 people in 10 days, that's okay. We're going to make it super fun, and there's going to be prizes and all kinds of cool stuff that we do, all right, throughout this process, which you're going to have a good time even if you don't do it. But the things that you learn, whether or not you put it into effect right away, the minute you start to put it into effect, because you might have a super slam busy schedule, and you're like, I'm going to learn all this stuff though, but I don't have time to talk to anyone over the next 10 days because I got all this stuff going on. I'm out of the country, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Once you learn it, you get to keep the information forever. Once it's in your brain, it's yours. Once you take notes on it, you own it. You've embedded it into your subconscious mind, right? It's in your memory now. It's in there. And then you'll go to talk to that person and you'll pull that phone number and that person might end up being your next top producer. Like the one person that I recruited at a gas station who ended up being my #1 all-time producer. The other guy that I recruited at an Arby's restaurant, cold market prospects. I'm going to teach you how to do this. Arby's restaurant, that guy ended up being one of my top all-time producers. Another guy, I met him at a Army recruiting station, right? Another guy, didn't know, met him as he was opening the door for his girlfriend in the parking lot. So little lines that allowed me to pull these numbers and things that I said that allowed them to want to say yes, got these people in the business and they ended up hitting the top level of my company. One little line could change the game for you. I'm going to give you 10 days of me coaching, accountability, missions, interaction, the ability for you to ask me questions and me to say, hey, here's how you overcome that objection. Here's what you want to do from now on. So that, my friends, is what I have on the table, what I'm so excited for you to have ownership of. Because if you want to know exactly what you need to do to recruit 10 people in the next 10 days, what you need to do is you need to join this challenge. It's the #1 thing and the only thing that you need to know that you need to do. So, if you are feeling bold, for some of you this is a no-brainer and requires no level of boldness because it's just obvious. There's not another thing that you could do with $97 that would have the potential to give you this type of ROI in your business, in your life. There's nothing. Find me something. Take $97 and then you go spend it however you want and then give me one of your best friends who's in your same business or someone. Don't even make them as good as you. Make them uglier than you and with less context than you, and you bring me them and let them give me $97 and then you go take $97 and then you go invest it however you want. And then let's follow up. Let's follow up not in just in 10 days. Let's follow up in, let's say, 90 days. And see how your money and your investment's doing versus the investment this person made into themselves. I dare you. If, by the way, you have a friend that has less contacts and they're not as good looking as you and you decide not to do this, please, I just ask you, send me them and let me know and let's stay in touch. Let's just do that because I would love to race you. I would love to race you because it would be an unbelievable story that I would love to share in every video and podcast episode opportunity I get to say how there was a person who they thought they could do better with $97 and they gave me their their weaker, sick, uglier friend in their same business. They work with me, and here's what this person's accomplished since. Just because I like a challenge, which is why I put together the Recruit 10 and 10 challenge. So I want to welcome everyone into this world. If you are deciding to join, who's joining over here in Facebook world and over here, and oh my gosh, GoToWebinar is blowing up. Love it. Recruit 10 and 10. Yep, recruit10and10.com/join. All right, cool. You can't find, yeah, we were like, you can't find a better way to spend this. I hear you. I'm in. Daniel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep, 10 and 10 for 97. That's right. So, congratulations, everyone. Graham in the Heezy. He's in, of course. Stud. So I'm so excited for you guys. I just wanted to do this training because I wanted to help to reshape your minds. A lot of you guys out there have issues with belief. You don't recognize that personal development is the key, and getting a mentor and someone to teach you what you don't already know is the thing that you need to get if you want to go somewhere that you've never been. A lot of times, and I'm not knocking any of the training or the trainers that you guys may follow. There are a lot of other really great people. But if you've been following them and you haven't recruited 10 people in 10 days, or you haven't had, a really big breakthrough, or you're just thirsting for a new one, right? And you're looking for something else to get the edge, just a different voice, different angles, different strategies, and you like anything that I've said so far, then I invite you to join the Recruit 10 and 10 challenge. So thank you guys so much. Recruit10and10.com/join. Use the numbers. And I will tell you, if you go there, one cool thing as a bonus as you join, you're going to get a very special opportunity to get a B10XB hat and wristband at a discounted price. Actually, it's going to be a coupon that you can actually use, a special enhanced coupon where you're going to get more back for the money that you put in if you take me up on that offer. Because I'm going to be helping you guys to be bold. And for those of you that don't know about the B10XB wristband in the story, it reminds you to be 10 times bolder. And anytime you feel fear, indecision, or doubt, you just ask yourself, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And whatever you think of in that moment, you do it. And if you don't do it, you pull back on this wristband and you just snap it on your wrist. And it links pain to not being bold. Well, a lot of what we're going to be talking about is I'm going to be sharing you some very bold approaches, some very bold things to say, there are going to be some bold missions for you to do. And you're going to want to have a handy dandy B10XB wristband. So you can go ahead and get that as a little promo that I have on that page. So that's already starting to recoup your investment back into this, because now you're getting discounts on being able to get stuff that you probably would have gotten anyway before. And you actually get a promo where you can get it free shipping anywhere in the world with a hat, shirt, or whatever. You can get one band, and if you don't want a shirt or you already have some stuff, you can just use that coupon to get a bunch more bands, right? So it's just a cool little promo because I want to help hook every single person up watching this. I want to help you guys out tremendously, so I want to make sure that you are armed, literally and figuratively, right? Get you that on your arm, all right? So I'm excited for you guys. Thank you so much. I want to go ahead and sign off over here on Facebook. I'm going to spend a little time over here on GoTo and answer some questions of yours. If any of you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to me personally, but there really shouldn't be any question other than like, hey, how many people on my team can I invite? As many as you want. How many can I promote this, everywhere that I want, tell the rest of my team, other people in my organization. Yeah, if you're a giver and you want to help other people, by all means. I don't have a bandwidth. The way that I've got this thing structured out is I'm going to be, you guys are going to be answering, well, I don't want to give all the secret sauce of the stuff that I'm going to do, all right? Because there's going to be people that are going to see this and they're going to be like, yo, I want to do one of these things too. And they're going to try and copy, but you know who the originator was, and they're not going to be able to deliver what I deliver anyway, because they're going to have a different style and different things. So I'm not going to share all the secret stuff that I'm going to be doing with you guys, but it's going to be lit. It's going to be fun. You're going to have an amazing time, and you're going to have unbelievable breakthroughs. And if you don't happen to recruit 10 people in 10 days during this challenge, it doesn't matter, because you're going to get, when you're done, you're still going to go, that was the best info product or the best course that I've ever bought. Because you're going to be learning some of the best things from some of my existing courses and things that you've never heard before. And the only people that I've ever heard before have had to pay me tens of thousands of dollars. So I'm excited for you guys. Thank you so much over there. And If you decide to step up and be 10 times bolder, congratulations. I'm very much looking forward to working with you, mentoring you, and helping you absolutely crush it and being that mentor and that coach that works with you and gives you the accountability and the missions and the strategies and the tools and the freaking chainsaw to finally chop down that tree of a business that you're in. So that way all of the money from the money tree can fall and rain upon you. So you can finally freaking make it. And you know what? For some of you guys that have been getting a ton of crap from friends, family, neighbors, and all the rejection, the no's, the doubters, the naysayers, this is your shot to show them that you were right and they were wrong to ever question you. This is your shot to finally get the momentum behind you, to finally have that breakthrough and get the momentum that changes everything for you and allows those people to go from being the haters that go, oh, he's wasting their time, blah, 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 to going, I told you he'd make it. Oh, yeah, man. When? Oh, you're doing a party. When? Yeah, I can't wait to come. You bought what kind of car? What kind of house you live in? Man, that business is really working. Can I join now? And you can go, nah, I'm too busy. I can't work with you. I'm too busy working with my ride or dies and the people who believed me. No, people who believed in me and got in early, the people who joined that were in that 10-day period. Those 10 people I recruited in 10 days. Those are the people that I'm busy working with right now. Still working with them years later because they're all top earners. So I'm excited for you. Take care. God bless.